back on Saturday's Art Adventure. Today we're going to be doing printmaking. And in your kit today, you will find some pieces of styrofoam. They're very thin pieces. Some watercolor paper, watercolor paints. We have red, yellow, and blue, and a paintbrush. What you will need to provide on your own is, of course, a rag or paper towel and a container for water. Printmaking has long been used with artists in a variety of different methods. Today's method, we're actually going to do an impression painting. So what you need to do is you can use all kinds of tools. Like today I'm actually going to use the end of my paintbrush, but you could go to your kitchen, maybe find a fork. I found this really cool meat tenderizer with some texture on it. You could even use a really good solid stick. Found this out in my yard. And what you're going to do is design whatever it is that you want to make. Maybe it's a pattern, maybe it's a picture of something. But you're going to use whatever tool it is you decide to find and create an impression onto that styrofoam. So I'm pushing really hard. You can see I made kind of a leaf design. Put a few little veins in there. And what that starts to do is it makes a nice indent into the styrofoam. You can kind of see that. Maybe your other tool, let's try this meat pounder here. You have to press into it. See, that made some interesting little polka dots there. To make polka dots, you could also use the end of your brush. But you create whatever design it is that you would like to do. So the next thing you're going to do is decide what color you're going to use. I think I'd kind of like to use a little bit of this blue. And watercolor will appear to be all dried up until you add water to it. So I couldn't push my brush into that because it was dried up, but once you start adding water, it'll become liquid again. So here I'm going to add some blue along the edge of where I put that meat tenderizer color, and maybe even just a little past that. I want my leaf, however, to be green, so I'm going to take a little bit of this blue. You could use a paper plate or maybe the back of one of the other styrofoam pieces, and I'm going to take some of my yellow and mix it together. Oh, there's a nice green. I like that one right there. So I'm going to take that green, I'm going to put it just over my leaf form there, and over those polka dots along the edge. You put your color wherever you would like to do that. After you've got that on, now you can decide where you're going to put it on your paper. I'm going to put mine right up in the corner here, let it lay down. I'm going to take a pencil, I'm going to mark very lightly my corner, and then I'm going to press. The one thing you don't want to do is to take your styrofoam and push it like this, because that'll just smear your paint and your whole design will disappear. So push on that really hard and then peel it back. So you can see I've got the pattern left from the blue, and there's my leaf design. Now what you can do is kind of take your brush, wet down that, and wipe away any paint if you want to add another color of paint on. I think I'm going to add a nice fall color and make an orange. So I'm going to take some of my yellow Put it on my styrofoam, rinse out my brush. Get some of my red. And make a nice orange. So I'm going to put my orange now over here where I didn't have any paint before. Maybe a little bit more red in there. So now I can turn it over, and I can use my registration marks to know exactly where my corners were. Push that down really good. And there you go. See, I got my orange color down there. So now you can go through and you can create all kinds of designs across your paper. So let's just say maybe I want my next leaf, or maybe I just take a different piece and make a new design, but my next leaf I'm gonna make a blue leaf with an all yellow background. And this time I'm going to make my leaf go the other direction. And maybe I want to put my registration mark right there. So there you can see I have my new leaf going the other direction. So you can keep going and make all different designs using the same one or creating new ones, and make almost like a quilt pattern. The other thing that you can also do is make an actual picture or a landscape. So I'm gonna do just some marks that kind of remind me of grass. And I mix me some nice green. And I'm going to put this all over my marks that I want for grass. Okay. Add some little bit darker green. I'm not too worried this time about making my registration marks exactly in a particular spot, because I want my colors, my greens, to kind of overlap with each other. So now you can see I kind of have this texture, almost like it's grass down at the bottom of my picture. And I think maybe I might like some blue sky in there. Maybe with like a cloud that I'll leave white, so I'm gonna make cloud shape, any shape that you want for a cloud. I'm going to use some of my blue to kind of paint around the cloud shape. I'll put my cloud right up there. Maybe I'm going to put another one over on the other side. Maybe like right here. You can also use your paintbrush. I want a little bit tighter, cleaner edge on my cloud, so I'm going to add a little bit of the blue just to kind of outline that cloud lightly. Now I want a little bit of blue texture right in there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of here, put that in there. There we go. Now I'd like a tree in there, so maybe I can take another piece of styrofoam to create my tree. I'm gonna need definitely some branches, right? And you can get as detailed as you want, but usually in this kind of printmaking process, keeping them kind of bold works pretty good. So now I need kind of a brown. I'm going to, oops, mix that blue and red together to get kind of a brown color. And I'm going to just kind of put it right wherever my tree branches were. Well, sometimes it doesn't always turn out like you want it to. So that's what's great about this, is that now I can just kind of add my brush and just add some tree branches in there. So yeah, you can just start working your picture by using your styrofoam to create textures, using your brush to actually make forms if you like that better. Use your imagination. That's the best part of it, and have lots of fun.